Blether, Scran and Blether, Scran and Blether, come on in. Scran and Blether, Scran and Blether, welcome to good food and good chat. Come have a chat.
Good morning, good morning. Anyway, I am back in the Scran and Blether kitchen, and today I have a good one. It is homemade sausage rolls. So I've experimented, I've tried different fillings, different things in the fillings, and this is one that I like. Whether it's right or wrong, don't know, but we're going to do it. And I personally think they are tastier than the well-known baker's sausage rolls. So let's get on with it. Right, ingredients. I have 500 grams of sausage meat, and so what happened was I made these at Christmas. I bought sausage meat out of a local supermarket because they were selling lots of sausage meat for stuffing, and then I'd made sausage rolls out of it, and I went back after Christmas to buy more to make more sausage rolls, and they didn't have any. But I looked at the ingredients on the back of their sausages, and it was exactly the same ingredients. So all we do is we buy the sausages and we squeeze the sausage meat out into the bowl. So this is what we're going to do. So 500 grams, this is slightly less, this is 454, but that's okay. 454, 500, whatever's in the pack. This is 8 sausages. So to that, I will add my 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, or onion granules, garlic granules, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1.5 teaspoons of Italian mixed seasoning. But you could, I've got all these pre-prepared in this little dish, it was just to save time. 1.5 of the Italian seasoning. You can add, if there's something in that mix you don't like, you could just add basil or oregano or some thyme or whatever little herb that you like. Chives would be good too, and just add that. And I just do the mix because I like the mix. 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Again, you could do either or, I just like the mix. And then in this other little dish, I have 1 tablespoon of Worcester sauce and 1 tablespoon of tomato ketchup. Now, for the first time, if you want, you could reduce all of these flavours by half to see if you like it. I like things quite strong, so that's my measurements. And I think that's it. So let's get on with this. Squeeze. Yeah, it's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but I just want to show you that this can be done. It can be done very quickly. And I have a pack of ready roll puff pastry. I've got that sitting out. I took it out of the fridge. It's a refrigerated one I have bought, not a frozen one. I just like the fresh better. The frozen probably work too. I haven't tried it, to be honest with you. I maybe do that and see how it turns out. So we'll just squeeze all of these in. I have my oven preheating to 180 fan. That will go in at 180 fan. They take around half an hour, but I will keep an eye on it and tell you exactly how long they took at the end. You also need 1 egg. The egg will go in and it will combine it all together. It's a large egg, so I might try and keep a little bit of it back to brush the top of the sausage rolls, but if I don't, if I pour it all in by mistake, I'll just brush them with a little bit of milk. I'll just say at this point, you can also, when you brush the top off them, you could also sprinkle some seeds on top, a little bit of sesame seeds, poppy seeds. Poppy seeds might be nice. I'm not putting seeds on. I'm making these for to take into work. We're having a team meeting at work, and I'm bringing these in. It's usually the first thing in the morning we have team meetings, but we scheduled it to the afternoon, and it's a lunchtime meeting, so I am making these to take for my colleagues. And I don't know if any of them have any dental issues that seeds might not be good for, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to ask them because I want to surprise them. So I'm just throwing that mix in, all of that. And the sauce, the two sauces. Oh, I've just spilled that in my cheese. Just splashed a little bit in my trouser leg. I'm going to have to change my trousers now. Oh, messy cook. Actually, someone has actually commented that I should have a penny. Yeah, and you're absolutely right, I should have a penny. Okay, so that is all in there. And my switched up egg that I've already switched up. Let's see if I can do that and keep a little tiny bit by. Yep, kept a tiny bit. We'll see if I need it all, I'll just use it all. And in with the hands. So I am just mixing this in by hand. That's why I've put it in this glass bowl to show you. In by hand. It's a lovely noise, isn't it? Mixy mixy. Mix it all together. Now what you also can do is you can add some grated cheese. This is a little loose. Maybe it should have been half a tablespoon of Worcester sauce and half tomato. Oh well, that'll be. You know what it is? Actually, I've had these sausages sitting out the fridge while I was getting everything else ready. So maybe it's that. What you can also do is you can mix this up and leave it in the fridge the night before, and then just throw them. You can actually make the whole thing and leave it in the fridge overnight, and then just cook them the next day in the oven. So that's ready, right? What I think I'll do is I think I'll roll out some and see how many it makes. I'm thinking it might make about 8, and I maybe do half with some grated cheese, and I have some grated cheese there, and so maybe do half with some grated cheese. So that's the mix ready. You can leave that in the fridge till it firm up a little bit, and then roll it into the pastry. But I think I'll just do it, and then once I've filled them, I will put them in the fridge for 20 minutes, half an hour before I bake them. Good point. Right, I'm just going to try to use one hand. I've got one clean pinky here, so I'm just going to wash the hands and then I'll roll out the pastry. Right, hands washed and dried. Now I'm going to roll out this pastry. I've left it sitting out of the fridge for a little 10-15 minutes just so that it can roll easily. Now what you can do is you can leave it on this parchment paper that it comes in and put it in the oven in that. I'm just going to actually, step into that a little bit. I'm just going to, I want to roll it a tiny little bit more, so I will just put a tiny bit of flour on my rolling pin so it doesn't stick. It's a little bit tacky. I'm just going to roll it a tiny bit more, just to make it a tiny bit thinner. Just a tiny bit. There we go. Let's just roll it a tiny bit thinner. Right, that should do. Now, I'm going to cut this. I don't have a knife. Okay. The best laid plans. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this. I think I'll make 8, so I will cut it. I've got all myself all mixed up. Cut it right down the middle. Here we go. Down the middle. And down the middle of that. It makes sense, doesn't it? And 1. And that make 8. course it will. Now they're not perfectly equally sized because I didn't use a ruler. It's a big rectangle. I've basically done one right down the middle and then 1, 2, 3 to make 4. 4 and 4. I'm just going to move it slightly. Right. 2 middle ones are a little bit bigger. Look, nobody said it was perfect. So I'm going to do, I'll see how much I've got here. I might have too much sausage meat actually. Right, I'm going to do 4 plain ones, and 4 with cheese, I think, just to make them a bit more interesting. So I have a baking tray ready with parchment paper on it, but actually it would be fine just to use this one that it came in, so I shouldn't have bothered. Right, so my plain one, if this is too much, I'm going to save some of it for later. So I'm using just like, it's a soup spoon. I'm going to take a spoonful, put it in the middle. You can be quite generous with it, but you don't want to overstuff them because you don't want it all to seep out. Right, can you see that? I need to move back a bit. You see that? Here we go. Just like a log shape. Hopefully you can see that. Almost to the end. I think I got a tiny bit more. So I just should get my hands in. Right, quite full but not overly full. Just like that. And then just roll it round. Roll it round. And just squeeze it a little bit. And it's almost at the ends. There's just like tiny bit of space. And then you will just sit that on its seam on the baking tray. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm just going to do all of them. I'm going to fill all of them. Oh, what I will say is the one with the cheese. So I'll fill the plain ones and then I'll do the one with the cheese. We're filming again. And I had not finished what I was doing. Right. I will just leave it filming. Who cares? Just spread that a little bit more. Film just came on by itself there. And I'm aware this hair is hanging down. I'm watching what I'm doing, that there's no hair getting in the food. I really like to have my hair tied back. But I just started doing this without even giving it a second thought. Right. Didn't demo that very well, did I? Right, so it's almost at the ends. I'll just take a little bit and just roll it. Roll it, roll it, roll it. And it's under there, like that. Another one. I think I've got maybe slightly too much sausage meat, but we'll see. It's not bad though. Not bad at all. And these will be the plain ones. Roll. That one's a little bit shorter. There we go. So, these are the plain ones. Got a tiny bit of meat left here out of the half. Stuff a little bit in the end. I'm so unprofessional. But I'm not professional, I'm a home cook. I'm just a home cook. You see these will ooze out the end, maybe a real mess. Do we care? Nah. Right, so I'm just stuffing the little bit that's left in, and if they end up all hanging out, that'll be my fault. Anyway, right, so that's those ones. Now get the rest of this. which was slightly less. So by the time all the mixes were in, there was about, I've split it between sort of the plain ones is about 280 grams of the mix left, and this is 250 just because I'm going to put some cheese in. I've got 50 grams of cheese here. I'm going to try throwing half of it in first just to see how it looks. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I'll throw half of it in. More's not always more. Sometimes less is more. Let's see. Will that be cheesy enough? Another wee sprinkle. Right, so I would say I've used about 30 grams of the cheese. I grated 50 into a little dish there. I say I've used about 30 grams of the cheese. That would be about right, because this would make this 280. Right, so there we go. And now to fill the other 4. What I will say is a bit of the grease out of the cheese might ooze out, but that's all right, we don't care. Excuse me. I won't touch my face again. I'll fill these ones. You can also, what is really nice as well, is you could do a little bit of pickle, sandwich pickle, or a little bit of chutney. And especially with this being pork sausage, it would be really nice with a little bit of apple chutney. And I would say if you're going to put that into your mix, I would put in only maybe, if you're half and half in it, I would put in only maybe a tablespoon. If you're doing the whole mix with that, about 2 tablespoons would be enough. I'm not doing that today because I don't know if my colleagues like it. I know they like cheese because I've taken in my cheese scones to my team meetings before and they've went down a treat. But I don't know if people like the pickle and all of that, so I'll find that out. I'll find that out and then I'll make these again. I'll maybe make them again and do a nicer, more professional job of presenting them. So here we go. This is just about lovely. Here we are. Talking to myself. This is going well. I mean, the outsides of these look a bit dirty off my fingers, but who cares? They taste delicious. And speaking of the famous bakers that sells these, not these, but nowhere near as good as these, they sell sausage rolls. They're very popular, they are very popular, and I'm not dissing the bakers, right? And it's reasonably priced and all of that stuff, but I remember when they first opened in my small town that I live in, I'm going to rob a little bit out of that one, actually, because I overstuffed that one. When they first opened, you used to go and on a Saturday morning, you could go and get the rolls fresh out of the oven. And we have a family-run bakers in our town that's been on the go since 1929. And it's the great bakers and their stuff's delicious and it really is, it's lovely. So we're sort of loyal to that bakers, but when the chain one opened, excuse me, I need to just wipe my... When the chain one opened, we did go round and try it, and their fresh rolls are very nice. Right out of the oven, the bottom of them was lovely and crispy and all of that, so yeah, it was lovely. But over time, what we found was we just started buying things in, you'd say cook chill, so they were all ready made and just delivered off ready made, and then noticing that they then started supplying like well-known freezer shop. Reading the back of the ingredients, it is just full of rubbish now. So I think maybe when they opened it first, things were much fresher. And this is the thing. So, and I get that for packaging and for things lasting a long time, they do have preservatives and stuff in them. But when you're making this stuff from home, yeah, it takes a little bit of extra effort. But you know what you're putting in your body. everything here. Okay, I didn't make the pastry. I do make my own pastry sometimes. Always my own short crust. Don't never make my own phyllo. Never ever. Yeah. Puff is a bit of effort to make. I have made it. So it is easier just to buy it. And obviously whatever's in that, I didn't actually read the label. And that was enough egg. Just leaving that tiny little bit of egg to wash over the top. That'll give them the nice golden toastiness. But yeah, you're making these things and you're putting exactly what you know in. It's not full of additives, preservatives, dyes. Like, it's just what you've put in. And that's what I love about home cooking and home baking. Because even if you're having a treat, it's still all your own. Right, so what I'm going to do is, these lot are plain, I'm going to give them a straight line, and these lot are cheese, I'm going to give them a diagonal line, just scoring the top. You don't need to be perfect and you don't need to be completely the way through. It just gives them a little mark, a little indentation in the bacon. Scoring them, and then diagonal lines on these ones. And then we'll know which is which, although I have a feeling the cheese will be oozing out of the top. And that's that. Right, these go in the oven. Et voila. And 180 fan, I reckon. Oh no. Pardon me, these are not going in the oven right now. These are going in the fridge for 20 minutes. Tut, Rose. In the fridge for 20 minutes. And we'll come back and then they will go in the oven. Silly. Because they'll be crispier and fresher, and it'll give the inside a chance to sort of solidify back together again, because it's went a bit loose. It's been sitting out and I've been mushing it out with my hands and all that. So yeah, fridge for 20 minutes. I'll get a coffee and then they'll go in the oven. Right, so I don't really think I need to show you them when they come out of the fridge. They'll just look exactly the same. The egg wash might have dried off a little bit. If it has, there's a little bit here. I might give it another tiny little brush. But that's it. I'm not putting seeds on them. You could just sprinkle your little seeds on top now. And that would be nice. It'd be lovely. But as I said, I don't know if my colleagues would appreciate the seeds, so I'm not going to do that today. It does look nice though, and then give it a little bit of crispiness. So when 20 minutes has passed, I will just put these in the oven and I'll show you them when they come out of the oven. And I'll tell you how long it took. Disaster. So it is time for the sausage rolls to come out of the oven. And my colleague has just called me to say that the building that we work in has had a flood and our meeting has had to be cancelled. Oh, the best laid plans. So I think my father will be happy. And maybe see if any of the neighbours are there. But anyway, time for them to come out. So I'll take you with me because I don't have another person to film. And we check them out. Right, okay. Disgrace, my oven needs cleaned. Okay. Let's grab my something oven glove. So oven glove at the ready. And wait till you see these bad boys. Ooh, how nice do they look? I'll sit it here for a second. I'll leave them on there for a little second. That matte thing that you can see is a protector for my hob. So I'll transfer these onto a cooling rack and we'll have another little look. So here we are, I'm back again. So I'm just going to put them on the cooling rack to cool so that they stay nice and crispy on the bottom. So my cheese ones, they haven't oozed too much. Bottom of the baking tray is a little bit greasy from some of the oil coming out of the cheese, but other than that, yeah, it looks fine. So there, look at those, look at those. You can bring them out slightly earlier If you think, right, that's them cooked, I'll save them for later or tomorrow or whatever, and then put them back in the oven. You're going to heat them up again. They'll still heat up again fine, like this, but if I was wanting them for tomorrow, I might bring them out just when they're just slightly less golden brown and more just golden. But yeah, these look amazeballs. Lovely. They smell insane. So I'm gonna definitely have to cut one open, aren't I? It's 8 sausage rolls for one. A wee shame for my colleagues because I'm sure they would have really enjoyed these. Let's see if I can find a little knife. So, well, what one will I have? I think I'll have a small one just now. I'll just have a small plain one. Cut open a small plain one. Let me set these aside. You should leave them to cool for 10 minutes or so before cutting into them. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll come back because I don't want them to collapse. Right, well, it's been 5 minutes. And quite frankly, the smell's driving me insane. So I'm just going to cut one open. So, here we go. Ooh. Listen to the crunch. And look at that lovely filling. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. It's too hot. But absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. I could have maybe added a little 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I didn't because the extra mature Scottish cheddar is salty. So maybe a little 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Yeah, especially if you're using a milder cheese. But apart from that, lovely, absolutely lovely. Delicious. And I would say that's the right amount of everything. Tasting that. I was a bit worried when I was mixing the mix, thinking, is that a little bit too sloppy? Have I put too much sauce? But I'm not. It's absolutely heaven on a plate. Sometimes the simple things are just the nicest. Yeah, so please make it and let me know how you get on. Remember to add a little pinch of salt, 1/4 teaspoon. But I don't like things overly salty. But beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, another good one. Definitely worth making. Just trying to finish this. So, unless you just like seeing someone eating, I'm going to go and eat the rest of this. I'm not opening a cheese one just now because I won't eat it. But yeah, just pretty much looks the same with little bits of cheese. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Guarantee you'll enjoy these much better than the baker's one. And you've made it with your own fair hands. So please make it. Let me know how you get on. And to work this off, tomorrow morning, skipping with my skip and blether. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. So we eat all the goodies and then we work them off. Okay, signing off. Bye-bye.
Scran and Blether, Scran and Blether, Scran and Blether, come on in. Scran and Blether, Scran and Blether, welcome to good food and good chat.